Welcome to the G3X Podcast, where it's godgymgrind unfiltered, episode 23 today of the podcast. Super excited to have here our special guest, Nausicaa. How are you today? Thank you so much for being here.
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. And thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast. To the audience, I met here Nausicaa as all my other guests that I've met through social media, with her fitness journey, seeing her growth through social and everything. So I'm like, hey, would love to have you on a podcast, share your story, impact others. And she was like, hell yeah.
No,
So
yeah, I love this. I'm so excited.
definitely. But Nausicaa, like, for the audience who might not be aware of who you are, give a little introduction of who you are, where you're from, what you do, and we take it from there for sure.
So I'm from California. I'm originally from San Francisco, but currently I'm a 19-year-old college student majoring in business at University of California, Riverside. And I basically post like a bunch of fitness content. It's a little like all over the place and it's more chill, low key. Like I'm just your average girl. You don't really have to say like content creator, but I'm really just a person who loves making content and stuff like that. But other things I do, I also make music and I love nature. Like I always go out and stuff like that.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I saw that with this music aspect. That's something I definitely would love to like get later on into the podcast for sure. But with respect to your own, let's say, journey, let's get started into that, and then as we flow with the rest of the podcast, fitness. What ultimately then what got you into fitness? What was it like? My initial question would be your passion of just creating content. Did that like drive you to like, hey, you know what, let me hit the gym, create content through there? Or was it like you started the gym and then from there you found like a passion or like love of just creating content? Just talk to me a little bit about that.
I think like most people, it's generally just because of like health. I wanted to like, get in a better shape and stuff like that. So that's why I started doing fitness. With the content creation aspect, I've been doing content like making YouTube videos ever since I was like 6 years old. So it's always been my life. My dad's like, he's on the artistic, creative side for work too. So we kind of did it together. And then like, now I like have my thing, and this isn't like anything work related. This is just like I genuinely love to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, nice. I love that. Yeah, no, and I think that's how everything should start, right? Like having a passion for it. I actually love this one post I think that I recently saw on your page where it's like the love for the game, for lack of a better way to describe it, where it's like, hey, what happened to like the love of just creating content to create
100%.
it
100%.
versus like we get lost of everything else. And when you post, I'm like, hey, that's so true, because initially
Yeah.
we post something just for fun or whatever, but then it's like we get
Yeah.
lost in maybe views or this or that. So how has that, your own growth in your own social media, how has that like affected you, let's say, in any way, shape, or form?
Honestly, like posted that because it's a really big topic for me. Like once I started getting more followers, for those of you who don't know, I have 19K right now, which is great, and I love every single one of my supporters. But once I started getting to know other content creators and talking with them, like I'm not trying to like diss on anybody or like say anything bad, but like so many people they just talk about numbers and like pushing out stuff, and it's like I want to create real relationships. I want to create real connections. It's not always about the numbers. Like I get it, you want people to see your stuff, but it's like you want to connect with people. You want to reach their
Yes.
hearts. Like with the people that follow me and support me, there's people that are just like, there for X reasons that are not supposed to be there. But there's also the people that come to me and they say like, "Oh, thank you. You inspire me." I have a folder in my photo album where it's like all the text of every single person who's like, "Thank you for this." Like I'm not even joking. Like I
That's
have
awesome.
everybody. Yeah, and that's like it's actually a really big topic to me because I just like my whole entire motto is keep it real, which we can talk about later. So it's like in a world full of sugarcoating and like filters and stuff like that, like we need authentic relationships, we need authenticity, we need to keep it real, we need to have real relationships with people. Like it's not just all social media, all like stuff like that. We're just humans. We just want to have fun. We just want to, I just want to create and I just want to do it like that.
I
Yeah.
love it. No, it's so true. No, and actually, yeah, getting deeper into that, let's say for you, how would you define, let's say, when it comes to creating content? Because I feel like this could help others also as well. Because I agree with you. I definitely think about it's truly creating
Yeah.
like a real connection, both, let's say, from G3X, like a clothing brand perspective, business perspective, even personal, like creator type, but it's all about creating like real relationships, real connections with your followers, with your viewers, with your customers, etc. So let's say for you, someone who's like, hey, so Nausicaa, how do I create authentic content? Like, what does authentic content, real content, honest content, etc.? What does that mean to you? And how could someone create that type of content?
Honestly, like for me, how I create like real content is first of all doing whatever I want. Like I don't have to follow a norm. I don't have to be like everybody else. But I do lots of trends because that's like an easy way to kind of push content and I want to like see myself in the trend, you know what I mean? But yeah, just like honestly, like do whatever you want. Don't be ashamed of it. Like if you want to keep it real, like the a recent post I did is about my body image cuz honestly, I've gained weight since like a couple months ago and I used to be like I don't want to show this. Like I don't want to show my tummy. I don't want to show like certain parts of my body. I don't want to like be this or that. Like I don't want people to judge me or whatever. But honestly, like it's not that serious. Like everybody is human. We know how each other looks like. Go outside, you see people all different shapes and sizes. That's
Yes.
completely normal. So just
And you don't go up to random people just like hating on their bodies in the
no,
public, but people
exactly,
happily do it on
exactly.
social,
Yeah,
which is funny.
exactly. You're just like you keep it real. You just be yourself. That's honestly what it is.
Facts.
Yeah.
No, and talking about that with respect to like body image, no, 100%. Like myself, actually, great that you mentioned that. Myself, actually, I recently did a little like posing video. Like what we all do, like little posing, etc. So
Yeah.
there was a couple of comments that was like, "Hey, bro, hop off the gear," and I found that hilarious, because yeah,
That's
I
so
have
crazy.
a little bit of some like chest acne, so I know people automatically assume, going back to like, hey, being scared of like showing certain parts of your body, but like, hey. People struggle with different things. That's just the reality of life, let's say in the sense of, let's say, women in fitness, right? Of course, like that belly area, of course, those are certain,
Yeah, yeah,
natural parts of the body because, hey, eventually in the future, you may be someone like, hey, women give birth. So there's extra, let's say, like tissues there for that
yeah,
aspect or etc.
yeah,
And
exactly.
so, different aspects of life that, hey, that's normal. That's nothing wrong, etc.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's so cool that you mentioned that because myself is like, hey, yeah, that's a struggle of myself, but like, hey, it is what it is. Just deal with it and so forth. But it's crazy how people can see something like that and just automatically assume something like, oh, acne, aka gear user, or he's on steroids, etc. Or it's not necessarily the case. There's so many other aspects, and the same thing
I
with like
think
in
they're just
fitness.
calling you jacked. I
You
think
know what
they're
I
just
mean?
saying you're I think it's a
I
good
saw
thing.
it as a compliment. I'm like, hey, well, thanks for the
Yeah, I
indirect
would
compliment. I
too.
see it as a
Yeah.
compliment. Yeah,
That's
but
very
no, it's so
sweet.
true. Like, be yourself, like you said, be yourself, and people are gonna hate. That's inevitable. But if you keep doing you, the right people will follow you, and the wrong people will just
Exactly,
kind of like be
100%.
cast away to the
Yeah.
side.
The real
How
ones
have
stand
you
out.
handled like any type of hate comment, especially let's say as a woman in fitness? How have you handled that? I know that's something a lot of people like struggle with, etc. Do you just block? Do you ignore? Like, how do you go about it?
Honestly, like I just block. Like I just ignore it and I block them. It's not really like before it used to get to me because I got like bullied a lot for my image, but I feel like everybody like they kind of go through that at some point in their life. But like at the end of the day, who cares what they say? I'm a very big like I'm just here doing my thing, like I'm minding my own business. So if you're in my business and you're saying something that's bad, like sometimes I don't even block. Like I just don't care. But most of the time, like I would just delete their comment if it's a little bit annoying. Or like there was this group of high school kids that were my classmates and they used to like put a bunch of random Among Us memes like in my
Uh,
Instagram comments. And that's not like bullying or hate, but it was so annoying. And I spoke to them in person about it and they wouldn't stop. And then I told our dean or whatever, and she was like, you should tell them if they should ask you if it's okay with you to post those comments. And it's like, I think for me, it's not really like I get hurt by it. In the beginning, yes, but now it's just more like annoying because like I don't care. So like if somebody keeps like hating or doing stuff all the time, I'm just gonna delete you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. You know, like I'm pretty sure you've seen this on social, and it's so true. I mean, I've experienced it myself. Like, hey, someone that's, let's say, doing better than you won't necessarily be hating on you. Like, hey, we've all, if they're doing better than you, then they've probably been through a similar situation that you've gone through, be it
100%.
business, be it fitness.
100%.
It's like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, I see someone, let's say, on their weight loss journey. I'm not gonna like, hey, you know, that's tough. That's super tough. You know, the grind, the sacrifices you have
Mhm.
to put in, the work. Like, hey, kudos to you. Whereas someone who's hating, they're just probably like, hey, you know, like ignorance is like, hey, you know what? Like you said, ignore them, delete, block, restrict. Even, you know, there's another one there like Instagram lets you
Yeah,
restrict, so it's
yeah,
like they're
yeah,
still following you but they really kind of like comment or see it, but they're not
yeah,
technically blocked or whatever. So
yeah.
like different ways to do it, but I like how you said it's like, hey, don't give your energy to just negative people, you know,
Exactly,
and move
exactly.
forward.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also like this feature on Instagram where you can restrict certain words. So sometimes I would
Oh
put
yeah,
some
that's a,
words in there. I don't remember exactly, but like, yeah, there's also that.
yeah, no, that's smart, that's smart. Yep. Now, let me ask you the following here then. Going back, let's say now, talking a little bit of content. I love that. We'll probably touch back on it. But let's say back into like the fitness area. I just wanted to get some further like value to the audience that maybe they're starting on their fitness journey and everything. Like you said, you did it like, hey, health, you wanted to get better in shape, you know, etc. Just out of curiosity, if you don't mind me asking, was there ever, let's say, a social pressure externally to like get into the gym or any that kind of, let's say, bullying aspect that you had to deal with, and how,
Yeah.
again, how'd you handle that aspect, or you know, on those mental battles in a sense?
Yeah. Definitely. So honestly, like the bullying started in elementary school because my image, like I have like lots of facial hair, not a lot, but like I grew it early. And also because I have a bigger chest than most girls, especially at like an elementary age. So people would say like, "Oh my God, they're fake. Oh my God, are you a man?" Or like they'd look at my stomach and be like, they say like certain words and stuff like
Mm,
that. So there was always that pressure. And then also with my family, like my family's always, or like out of four of our family members, my mom, dad, me, and my sister, all of us were a little heavier on the side. So collectively, we always heard mom go like, "Don't eat that. Eat vegetables." Or like, "Go to the
mm.
gym. Go outside." Which I love. Like, mom, you are 100% right. So there was also that pressure. And I kind of didn't really realize like the seriousness or like how much people should be exercising every single day until I don't know, until like I think I got influenced by social media. I'm not exactly sure the certain turning point, but I think it progressively happened, and that's where I came from. But with the bullying and stuff like that, that's definitely engraved in my brain. Like there's no like that can't go away from it. But I didn't really get affected by the bullying too much. I wouldn't say that's like the main reason why I got into the gym because of them, but more because of myself, because I want to be better, because I want to have this lifestyle. Like exercising is essential for every single human to be doing. Like it's not normal to just be sitting on your bed and brain rotting every single day. You need sort of fitness,
Scrolling.
even if it's just like an hour walking outside. Like before
Facts.
in elementary, middle school, I wouldn't go out unless it was for school, you know? So
No, for sure. And then, okay, once you started going, like, how did you go about learning it? Was it like all through socials, like the different exercises? Did you ever get yourself like a coach or like some friend in school? How did that go?
I think when I first started going to the gym, I went to Planet Fitness, and the first thing I always did whenever I went to any gym at all was cardio, because that was the only
Mhm.
thing that I felt comfortable on. I didn't want to like go to weights and then look like I don't know what I'm doing.
I
But
know what you mean.
yeah, 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 exactly. So like I would just always push the go button on treadmill and then I'd start walking, pretending I'm a model, like staying on there for a full hour or whatever. But then like when I started doing weights, that's when I started having like people on my phone and I see what they're doing and that's how I observe. Or I would sometimes search up a YouTube video and then I would literally watch like the 1 minute video in the gym working the machine at the same time. Or sometimes I would ask some of my gym friends and then I go like, what's this machine for? So just like that, just like connections with people, like observations of what
Yep.
other people do. Yeah. And then that's like how I got my way. I never had a coach or anything like that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, if I remember from some of your posts, you've tried a little bit of both, right? Like bodybuilding and powerlifting. Is that correct?
Yeah, originally I wanted to do powerlifting and I think I had it wrong. I think I was doing like powerlifting a little bit, but then I realized I want to do more than I don't want to go like 1 rep max. I would rather have like a few reps, which is what bodybuilding is, right? Like you can do a few
Yeah.
reps of high weight. Rather powerlifting is when you have like basically your PR and you do it once. So that's
Yeah.
why I was like, okay, I'm not going to do powerlifting. I want to do bodybuilding because I think that's a little safer, personally.
There you go. No, for sure. Yeah, I remember a while back, I would see a lot of videos when you're like deadlifting and everything. I'm like, oh, that's super cool. You know, for example, myself, yeah, I've never like gotten into powerlifting. It was always like just straight into like lifting weights, more of that bodybuilding aspect. I'm like, I'm cool
Mhm.
with it. Maybe in the future, one day, I could see myself in the future actually trying probably just for the heck of it, calisthenics. Maybe, I don't know yet. But as of now, I'm just stuck with bodybuilding. I'm chilling with
You
it.
should. Calisthenics is so cool. I'm
Exactly.
trying to do it. I'm working on that handstand and like I'm trying to do some L sits and stuff like that.
I
Yeah, I
saw that in one of your videos. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
let's
yeah, yeah.
go. Let's go.
Oh my God, I'm so you should try it. It's like whenever I see a calisthenics warrior, I'm like, oh my God, you guys are
Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
crazy.
Like those people that can do flag pulls or like handstand push-ups or on the parallettes, I think that's what it's called, like
Hmm.
one-handed stuff.
It's insane. It's
It is
insane.
it is completely insane.
It's
Yeah, this
super
takes a
dope.
lot of
Yeah.
hard work.
Facts. Fact. I remember I was at a Gymshark event like here that they had in Miami back in February. So, you know, Gymshark is a mixture of bodybuilding, etc.,
Yeah,
and calisthenics, etc.
yeah, a
So
bunch of
there
people.
were certain parts you saw certain people doing like a bunch of calisthenics and everything. I was like, oh crap. And everyone's like around them, just like cheering them on, doing like different like
Yeah,
handstands or like,
yeah,
you know, so it's like,
yeah,
oh crap, that the energy
yeah.
there was super cool.
Yeah, calisthenics is definitely one of like the smaller groups of fitness. So like when you see a calisthenics warrior, they're like that's the rare group. That's the rare group. Most people are powerlifting and bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find it cool. Like, I don't know if I haven't seen it in a while, but like, I remember a while back, sometimes I would see certain reels or content of like the calisthenics guy when the calisthenics person walks into the gym, or when the powerlifter walks into the gym, or the bodybuilder walks into the
Yeah,
gym,
yeah,
and you see
yeah.
like different styles. Yeah, I always find that super hilarious.
I've seen those too.
Now, when it comes to let's say as of now, let's say people who are curious, what's kind of like your current workout routine or like your, let's say, kind of like split, or how do you go about with your own training on that regards?
Yeah, so basically I usually do push, pull legs, and then I do it twice. So, wait, no. Yeah, yeah. And then I would take that one rest day. Or sometimes I'm kind of in the middle to see what's working best for me. I would do push, pull legs and then core and cardio, but you should be doing core and cardio every single day. I don't always follow that, but I try to do core at least 15 minutes every single day because it's hard for me to keep consistent. And then on that Friday or the fifth day, it would be calisthenics.
Okay, gotcha. Nice. I like that. Yeah, no, I'm with you there on the cardio. I'm like, sometimes I'll do it. Today, like right before the podcast, I was at the gym. So I did some like 30 minutes on the stair step. I was
Good
like
job.
editing
Good
a
job.
couple of reels. Next thing
Yeah,
you know, I'm
that's
like,
what
oh,
I
30
should do.
minutes is done. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
Out.
Exactly, exactly. That's how
Yeah,
you
you know,
make
it
it
helps the
different.
time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Helps
100%. Yeah.
All right, beautiful. No, I love it. Now, let me ask you, what are some of your, let's say, any specific favorite exercises? Like, oh, I love, especially when it's like a push day or leg day or like pretty equal love for all of them.
I would say pretty equal love for all of them. Um, Squat, bench, deadlift, they have all been up there. So squat, um, it's kind of falling off a little bit, but I love to deadlift. It's just like something about just picking up weight and then putting it back down or dropping it. It feels so powerful. And then lat pull downs has always been up there. It's never fallen off. Lat pull downs, something about just pulling it and like that back little tug. Oh my god, it feels so good. It feels so good. So I would say right now lat pull downs and deadlifting, but I also do love bench. I'm at like 125 for bench right now. I'm super close to that one plate. I really want to
Oh
try and
yeah.
hit it.
Oh
We'll
yeah.
see how that
Yeah.
goes.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll be waiting for that PR when you post it. Hell yeah.
I'm so
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
excited.
Look, so we're at May 18 right now. So let's see how long before I see that video. It's like, hey, look, 3 weeks later, or a week later, or
Yeah, yeah.
whatever it was. I'm
Okay,
like, you
now I
hit it.
gotta lock in. I gotta lock in.
Hell yeah. You already know. I'm putting it on my reminder so I could be a reminder like, hey, so where's that PR coming?
Okay.
Now, next question. Now, this is a fun one. Any kind of favorite, let's say, protein meals, cheat meals when it comes to that? I remember a while ago. Now, this was like, I don't know how long ago. I believe you were on your story. I remember that. I found this funny. Not sure if it was one of your favorite like protein meals, but I believe you're having a discussion with some of your friends. I forgot. It was some kind of bowl, but I forgot what kind of bowl. I think it was like something related with akaya or asaya, however you pronounce it, but I could be totally wrong. But anyways, talk to me about like your any of your favorite protein meals or cheat meals or anything of that sort.
Yeah, so acai bowl, I just had one yesterday. It was so good. I don't think it's considered like a cheat meal. I think that's more
No.
like a yeah, yeah, yeah. It's more like supposed to be something healthy. But honestly, like regarding my diet and stuff like that, I've been doing really bad with it. But I I kind of honestly I always try to get chicken in. I'm like always eating chicken, like straight up just chicken, like how
Like
the
chicken
powder
breast or like drumsticks or like
chicken breast, I think. Well, anything chicken, honestly.
anything chicken.
Yeah, yeah, anything chicken. Right now, I'm with my college dining hall, so options are limited. But
That's fair.
sometimes they got like, you know, a dessert that's calling my name. So I'd be
I like that calling your name.
I'd be taking one of that. Basically, like how I try to watch what I eat is I know people say like it depends on the fat, and some people say like it depends on the carbs and stuff like that. For me, I try to just limit my portions. I try to like get small portions first and then like wait until I feel like I finish eating and then I wait and then that's when my stomach is like, okay, do I need more or do I not? But every time I try not to eat 100% full. I don't know. That's a Chinese thing, I think. I don't know, but like it's a Chinese thing to only eat 70% of what like you actually need or whatever.
Oh,
But
interesting.
I don't really like have a cheat meal. I just eat whatever I want.
That's cool. That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Yeah, I'm pretty flexible with my diet. Just like you said, sometimes it's moderation. Like maybe let's say if I ate some kind of little whatever, little junk meal, little burger, this I'll be like, okay, I already ate that maybe 2 days ago. Let me not eat this. Let me just try to balance it out. But for the most
Yeah,
part,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
pretty open. Yeah. Now
It's
I understand people if they're like competing or this, where hey, you could be strict, but I love your transparency because it's like, hey, you could be into fitness and still enjoy life and foods, right? Like there's
exactly. I'm a huge
it's a big
foodie.
spectrum.
Yeah, I'm a huge
Facts.
foodie. I think like for me, like I don't want to limit myself, even though I
Hmm.
kind of do, but it's like it's more of the fact about being consciously like conscious about what you're eating and how much you're taking. But I don't say like if I want to have some ice cream and I see it, it's like I'm not going to eat ice cream or whatever. It's like okay, I'll have like maybe one little swirl and then
Yeah,
that's
instead
it.
of like three scoops or something. Like, hey, take one or something. Yeah, same thing. You know, eat a pizza, for example. Instead of eating like, I could easily eat you like a whole box of pizza, or easily like 6, 8 slices.
Yeah,
Hey, instead
yeah,
of eating 6, 8 slices, I'll eat two. Even though I
yeah,
low key want to eat
exactly.
four,
Yeah,
but I just eat two. Maybe wait until tomorrow to eat the other two or something. But
yeah.
you know,
So
you
that's me.
like
Yeah,
balance it. Yeah, facts. No, I
yeah.
love it. I love it. Yeah. So out of curiosity, then your family's originally from China. That's like your background.
My mom is from Beijing, and my
Nice.
dad, he's born in America, but his parents are from Hong Kong.
Oh, nice. That's so cool. I had a friend of mine recently who's actually in Hong Kong visiting some family over there, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Nice. Always wanted to visit Asia, so maybe one day in the future I
it's
get the
great. You should.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Nice. You been there?
Yeah, I've been to China. Yeah,
Nice.
I've been to
That's
like
dope.
where my mom's hometown was.
Nice. That's
It was
super
a good
cool.
experience for her and stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice. Love it. Love it. That's super cool. Now, Nausicaa, let me talk to you about the following here. I know, remember in the forum that you were filling out, you were talking about also being interested in starting a business. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you also have your own clothing brand as well. So talk to me. 19 years old, college, fitness, business, like before getting into the time management, talk to me about your business ideas, your entrepreneurship type of mindset, what you got going on, what's kind of like your vision moving forward. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the business is Cure. That's how you pronounce it. It's spelled as KIR, which goes out into keep it real. Because keep it
Love
real
that.
has always been my thing. It's just like I've always been saying it. Like, I'm always keeping it real. I always tell it to other people. So I was like, this needs to be something. Like, specifically, the words keep it real needs, like, it has to have its own brand just for those words. And I was like, why not start a clothing brand? Like, why not make it like a fitness thing? Why not be based around authenticity? So we started that, and it's going good. It's like, it's pretty good right now. It's been a little bit delayed because of college, and I'm so like focused up on my studies and stuff like that. And yeah, like we have shirts, we have stickers, we have hats. I want to get into joggers. I'm actually working right now with a partner to get with some other like distribution companies. So right now it's on Teespring, which is great for anybody out there who's trying to start a business. Teespring like directly gives you the merchandise and prints out everything for you. The only like negative thing I would say about it is shipping time is very bad. It takes like a
Mm,
month for their customers to get their stuff, which
oh,
is
shoot.
yeah, which is not good. But for starters, if you have $0, like if you don't have anything to invest in your business, Teespring and just a creative mind will put you right there. So that's a great place to start. Right now with Cure, I'm like in the second phase working with the partner and like talking about different distributions, trying to bring up the marketing back and stuff like that. So that's me and my business side.
Nice. I like it. Like it. Now, let me ask you, Helen, how do you go about, like you said, you're with college. I know it's right now focusing on college. So that's also like, let's say, kind of not giving you as much time to work on the business. Totally can understand that. How do you ultimately go about like your time management when it comes to, let's say, school, gym, your own content creation, social media? How do you go about balancing that? Like, not balancing it, but just I'm always iffy with the word balance because balance means so many
Yeah,
different things
yeah,
to
yeah.
people. But like, how do you go about just managing all those different things and finding enough time to like do what you want to do on a daily without maybe burning out or feeling like overloaded, etc.?
Yeah, for me, so I have like a little list on my wall where it says spiritual, academic, creative, and physical. So I need a win for all of those. I need to talk to my God every single day, or I need to learn more about Him every single day. And I need to create a video or a few videos every single day. I have to study like additional studying, so like going to office hours would be an academic win, and then physical win right now for me is like doing extra cardio on top of doing weights. So that's
Nice.
how I time manage. It's not really like organized, but every night before I sleep I try to get all of those checked off. That's what I
Nice.
do. But other times, like what I've done before is I literally go on a Google Doc and I write 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. lift or something like that. And then 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. classes and stuff like that. And I strictly follow it. Because, you know, like, as lots of people have said, for you to actually grow, sometimes you just need to be straight up consistent. Like, if I really wanted to lose that 5 pounds right now, just chicken and broccoli. It's very hard. It's very hard for me. So it takes time to get there. It depends on what's comfortable with you, what you can do, how bad you want it, and stuff like that. But you know yourself, know what your future self would want, and yeah, like just hold yourself accountable.
Facts. No, I like how you said that accountability. That's exactly percent right.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to the accountability, which is great, hey, be accountable for your actions. If you're not achieving what you want to achieve, then, be accountable to yourself. It means you're doing things that aren't necessarily getting closer to where you want to be, right? It's not, oh my God, like external. It's like, hey, it's probably your own decisions that aren't getting you to where you want to go. And like you said, also the patience and the discipline to keep doing it, because you're not going to get a result overnight. It takes time to see the results, whatever you're going for. But let's say, has there ever been a time, I'm pretty sure there has been, but you tell me, like maybe you couldn't necessarily complete all of your wins for that day. If that happens, like, some people would be like super pissed at themselves. And like, how do you manage? Like, aside from accountability, I'm a big believer of also giving yourself some grace, where it's like, hey, yes, be accountable for your actions and be responsible for what you want to do. But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, we're all human. So if in the off chance, like maybe you don't do what you wanted to do for that day, okay, tomorrow, rinse and repeat, get back on track, but don't kill yourself or, oh my God, I'm
Yeah, yeah,
useless, I'm crap,
yeah,
I didn't do
yeah.
it that day, like, hey, give yourself some grace, but, still be accountable. So I'm just curious, how do you manage that too?
Yeah, so I was actually struggling with this like maybe 2 weeks ago. Like I was doing Stairmaster and I really didn't want to be there. And I was texting my friend and I was like, I really don't want to be here. Like I actually just want to go and leave. Like my body's not having it. And he texted me and he was like, you have to think about what you need for yourself. Like, do you think do you think if you stayed on that Stairmaster for another 10 minutes, would it be more beneficial to you? Or if you leave right now and go get in a hot shower or something, which is more beneficial to you? So definitely knowing yourself and your limits, because every day is hard. Every day is hard. And hard is good, but at the same time, like we are human. Like you have to find some sort of balance. I know we like balance is kind of like an awkward because there's never really an equal balance, but you have to know your limits and you have to not push yourself to where you're not human anymore. Cause yeah, I think like being human is a great thing. You know, it's God's creation. But some people, when they train so hard, it's like they don't even recognize themselves anymore. And honestly, that's a little bit sad. But if I do miss like let's say like that 10 minutes, then I would add an extra 20 minutes the next day. So it has to be like the punishment has to be a little bit more extra than what happened the previous day. But if it's like okay, like she needed to take that hot shower or whatever, then I'll just let it go.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, like you make up for it if you miss it, but then hey, if it happens, it's like, hey, life is life at the end of the day, right? No one's
Yeah, and then
perfect or gets anything 100%.
there's also like a limit because if I let myself go too much, then I might just be like being too nice to myself. So I try
That's
to
fair.
limit it to like 3 excuses. You know, kind of like
That's
what
smart.
teachers do, like three
Yeah.
excuses in like 2 months or 1 month. You know, it depends.
That's
Yeah.
smart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I like that. I like that. Now, when you were saying that aspect where it's like, hey, where it doesn't like feel robotic or you're overstressed, it got me intrigued there. Let's say you yourself, then personally, um, what have let's say if when you reach to that point where you feel like super overwhelmed or like, what's your way of kind of like, let's say, resetting in a sense or kind of getting your focus back when it's like, holy crap, there's like 50 million things I gotta do. I feel like super stressed. Like, what's kind of like your way of, hey, let me, get myself straightened out and,
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
it going.
Yeah. For me, I'm one of those people that are like, if there's so much I have to do and I can't focus, I take a deep breath first. That's the first thing. And then I have to just find I have to just pause. Like I put my life on pause. Like I stop whatever I'm doing. I don't like go to bed or like go in the shower. I just stop, and then I take a moment, and then I open a Google Doc. I'm like a very big like Google Doc and to-do list person. So I write down everything I need to do on a Google Doc, and then that's it. Everything is solved. But I also, if it's like really bad, I write in my diary. I have like 13, no, like 18 different, no, wait, maybe more because I'm already 19. So like I have like 22 diaries I've been writing in ever since I was 7. So like
Wow.
if there's anything I ever need to vent out, it's always in there. But I don't talk to my friends. I don't talk to, like, I don't go to them when I need, like,
That's more. I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah, like
yeah,
external
I just,
validation or whatever.
yeah,
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 yeah.
I just need to like ground myself first. Like if I'm shaking, I need to ground myself. I can't like go somewhere else. I just need that focus. I need that relief. I need to sigh it out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I know what you
Yeah.
mean. No, that's
I don't
smart.
know
Yeah,
if
the
that
same
makes
way when
sense,
it's like
but like,
super. No, no, I get you. Because there's like super, like so many things. I sometimes do the same. Like for me, I'll either use the notes app on my phone. I like keeping everything digital. I suck at writing. When I say suck, I'm just not fond of writing personally. My sister loves it, but like for me, it's like
yeah,
okay, I'll do notes or like on the reminders app on my phone. It's like
yeah,
okay, ta 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 ta. Like hey, remind me
yeah,
about this, remind me about that. I gotta do this, etc.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's super cool though with the journaling aspect. Just out of curiosity, is it a daily thing or only when like when it's like certain like let's say extreme scenarios for lack of a better way to describe it that you start journaling or stuff like that?
Yeah. Um, So it fluctuates actually. When I was younger, it used to be a daily thing. I'd always put like whatever I wanted in there. Also, I just wanted to like mention, kind of going back from that, like the reason why I journal too and not getting in outside sources to help me is because sometimes when I journal, it's like you're talking to yourself, like you're thinking with yourself. Like how can you help yourself? Or that's like how it works for me. So anybody out there who's watching, like you should definitely try it. Like just give it a try. Like give it a few days, maybe a couple of weeks and see how you like it. But going back to the question, what was the question? I forgot.
Oh no, you were talking about like the reason why you started like journaling and stuff like that.
What was the other question?
Well, what I
I
was
don't
saying, like
remember.
basically, what like was the journaling aspect like a daily thing for you, or just in
Oh,
certain
right,
extreme
right.
scenarios?
Okay,
And
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, no
So
worries, it happens.
yeah, sorry, I'm forgetful. It used to be daily, but now it's kind of like whenever I find the time because I'm so busy. Or like in the summer, it would just be whenever there's like a big event. So either daily big event or whenever there's just any free time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you
And
ever
then
used
sometimes,
super random question? Sorry, not to cut you off. It just dawned
no,
on.
you're good.
Have you
You're
ever
good.
used the journal app on your iPhone? You know, there's a
I didn't know
journal
there
app, and
was
you could put
one.
like,
No, I didn't
yeah, there's a.
know.
I'll text it to you after. Like, I forgot the exact name, but it's straight from Apple, where you could
For
put, I
real?
think, certain reminders in the day of like, hey, you could just like a quick, like you could just put how you're feeling at that moment, and that's it. That's your journal entry for the day. Or you could like write some stuff. You could even include pictures. I used to do it for a little bit, but then it's like, okay, it was cool. But then you could go back, like, oh look, 3 days ago I was pissed. And I wrote that
Yeah.
down or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Stuff
Yeah.
like that. So actually
Well,
pretty cool. So I mean,
that's
if
actually cool.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. Like, I'm like, oh crap,
Yeah, I
that
didn't
could be
know there
something
was
like
one.
maybe you find.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Thank you.
Nice, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. That's super cool. Yeah, because I mean, shoot, you never know. Honestly, Nausicaa, you look back X years in the future or something, you could use that. You have your own. I would say, hey, you have your own autobiography, like
No,
in a
for
sense,
real. Yeah, yeah. So like usually every birthday I look back like a couple years and I see my growth and I write and I say like thank you, Nausicaa,
That's
for like
awesome.
being this. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome. No, that's
yeah.
good. I think some good self-reflection is cool because we get caught up in the current moment or the what we want to see ahead,
Yeah.
where sometimes we forget, hey, you were struggling with this some time ago and you overcame it, or back then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
wanted to be where you are now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in the now you're focused where you want to be in the future. So you forget that years ago you wanted to be where you are now, type of stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey,
Or like sometimes if like little Nausicaa wanted something else and I forgot about it, like I feel like I have kind of like a duty to make it up to her. So I also have that stuff
that's
too.
cool. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. No, that's super cool. Now, what also intrigued me when you were mentioning earlier, and curious, just brought me curiosity. Let's say, like they're like your faith, the spiritual aspect that actually got me intrigued there. How would you say then your faith has affected or played a role in either, your life, fitness, or school, or anything of that sort? If you don't mind talking a little bit about that. I thought that was super cool because not many people mention it. So the fact that you mentioned, like, oh, let me bring that up too.
Yeah, honestly, so before I was atheist, I didn't believe in God at all. I thought like when you die, you just die. But now I wouldn't say like I'm affiliated with a certain religion, but I'm agnostic, which is like I believe in a higher power. I believe in there's a God there. So I believe like transparency, always talking to God and talking like how you feel and trying to explore like the different books or scriptures. So like I'm looking into Christianity and Islam and like Hinduism and a bunch of different religions right now. So that's where I am with God. And yeah, so I'm kind of still like trying to find out what is right. It's hard. It's definitely hard because there's so many. Like, how are you supposed to know what's right or wrong? I don't know. It's really hard. I've been doing like a lot of research on it recently. So
Nice. No, no, for sure. Yeah, no, for me, the way I always like to say that is like, hey, yeah, everyone has their beliefs and totally respect that. For me, it's like, has always been that, like, hey, like as we say here at G3X Fitness, right? God, gym, grind. And for me, it's like,
yeah,
hey, that God aspect is just very simply just, hey, God first, like, may God guide you in your decisions, like
yeah, one
what
hundred
you
percent.
believe in, what you do in life. And if you put him first, then ideally, if you put him first or you're seeking his guidance, then whatever happens in life, even if it might not make sense at that moment, but like, hey, trust God, it'll work
It
out.
was
And
planned
then
out. Yeah,
exactly,
like
you'll learn
it was meant
something
to
from
be.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with
exactly.
that. Yeah, it's like wherever you're meant to be, like whenever I think it's like what people say when they get into a college, like where you end up is where you were supposed to be. Yeah, that's what I believe
Mm-hmm.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, and like there's a good quote from Steve Jobs that I say it often where it's like he said this, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you could only connect the dots looking backwards, which is
Yeah.
basically what we're saying, like, hey, sometimes things happen in life where it doesn't make sense, but you look back at it X years from now or whatever, and you're like, oh shoot, because like for example, in our scenario, I found you through Instagram, we followed each other, and then because of that, boom, now we're doing here a podcast. But
Yeah.
when we followed each other, neither of us ever saw ourselves, oh, we're going to be a podcast in the future. But you could
Yeah,
only connect that looking back. Like, hey, look, because we connected, now we're doing a podcast, So it's super cool there where it's like, exactly what you said. Hey, what's meant for you? God has. I'm a big believer. Hey, each one of us here has a specific purpose in life. If we seek God to know what that purpose may be, we find meaning in life. Otherwise, it feels kind of like, okay, what am I doing on with life? It feels kind of like kind of motionless. Just my personal beliefs on that. But then at least you have, if you know your purpose, then you have a sense of meaning in life, and then you try to do whatever you do in your day to day to get closer to that purpose, to get closer to that goal, etc. So
yeah,
now, in a sense, your
exactly.
life has more meaning than just, in a sense, living day by day and just going about it. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
know if that makes sense.
no, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Now, to seeing the time here, kind of wrapping up the podcast here, it's been super fun, but a couple of things before I want to finish for you. Again, you're in your college years, you're also building your business. I know this is a super tough question to answer, but what's the Nausicaa a year from now, or let's say 5 years from now? What could that future Nausicaa be doing, or where do you possibly see yourself as the future
Um,
unfolds?
Thank you for asking. Oh my God. I think I really like this content creation thing. I love having like making stuff and all that jazz. So I think like when I grow up, I definitely want to keep doing content. So I want to see like where that takes off. Like hopefully I can be like sponsorship with Dark Sport and yeah.
Nausicaa, so as we come to a close for this podcast, I always like to ask the guest this one final question before I end any podcast episode. And that is like, what would be that one piece of advice or words of wisdom you can give the audience out there if they're looking to maybe start their content creation journey, their fitness journey, their business, just like you are? What would be your words of advice to them?
Yeah, so I hope you guys know I would say this, but it's definitely going to be keep it real. You always want to be authentic and transparent with people. You want to try to remain as true as you can. No sugarcoating, none of that. Just be yourself. That's 100% too. Be yourself, make friends, talk to people. Every human is just living their life like this is our first try. Like we're just all trying to live life nicely together. Be yourself, keep it real, do your thing, don't let the haters get to you. And yeah.
And that's today's episode, guys, of the G3X podcast with our special guest, Nausicaa. Nausicaa, if the audience wanted to find you on social, where could they find you? What platforms are you on so they can give you a follow?
Yeah, you can find me at Nausicaa, Nausicaa _LYF. And LYF is supposed to be pronounced as like live life, whatever you want it to be. So yeah.
Awesome. And all that, by the way, for those listening or watching, will be in the description below if you're on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts. So check it out there, give her a follow. And again, this was episode 23 of the G3X podcast. Until next time, thank you, everyone. And as we like to
Thank
say
you so
here,
much for
God
having
Gym
me.
Grind.
Thank you. God Gym Grind.